add a WuFoo form into your phone sites page, what I would suggest is you probably, first of all, you probably want to put this on the first page, I'm guessing. And if you do, then I would get rid of like all the form options that are listed or pre-populated on that page, even getting rid of the button itself. You could put in like the privacy policy, or if you didn't want a privacy policy, you could put some text down here. But anyways, I would suggest just trying to limit it to just your WuFoo form. That way, someone doesn't accidentally click the button that's down here. That's normally going to show up whenever you create a new page through phone sites. You don't want someone to accidentally click that and then lose all their answers through the WuFoo form that you're trying to create. You want to try to push them to just submitting through the submit button that will be on the WuFoo form. So, all right, with that being said, you'll probably need to then create a second page through phone sites, and that will be like your thank you page, I guess you could say. So you'll use that URL. You'll have to find what that URL is later after you create it. And I guess if I were to create one, I only have one page set up here, but it would be something like phone sites user support videos.phonesites.com / like thank you or something like that. Anyways, you'll use that later when you go into WuFoo, because in WuFoo, if you've ever done this before, you can set up a redirect. So let me go back to my form really quickly. All right. And where is that? It's under edit, I guess. Under form settings. Now, I'm not a paying customer for WuFoo. I used to be in the past. It's been a while. So I'm thinking that it's pretty simple, if I remember correctly. I think you just go under confirmation options right here. And again, I went under form settings. And then you would select this little radio button for a redirect website. Now, since I'm not a paying customer, it's going to give me a little message asking me to pay. I'm not going to do that, but I think it's pretty simple. I think all you have to do is just select that radio button if you're a paying customer, and then you should be able to put in the URL here. This is going to change. It's no longer going to say, great, thanks for filling out my form when you select that radio button. It's going to change to some other field. It should be like just a URL form. But anyways, whatever URL you have set up on your thank you page, that second page that you set up in phone sites, you want to copy that and then drop that in over here. That way, whenever someone submits the form, they'll be redirected back to your thank you page on phone sites. Okay, so anyways, I've got this form set up. I just used a template that they had created. I didn't feel like taking the time to create one of these forms. I know it's really simple, but why bother? So, okay, so my form is saved, and I go to share form. And then on this page here, go to embed with iframe, and then you can copy this stuff. You don't even have to like select this. You can just select copy code, and then you go back to phone sites page. And so this is going to be the page where the form is going to be embedded, not the thank you page. So then you drop it in your sub headline. If you really wanted to put it in the disclaimer, like if you wanted some pictures or videos to be displayed up here first, that's my logo. I just dropped in a stupid GIF here just to have something on the page other than the form itself. So you could put your logo in here if that's what you're going to do. If you wanted to put in content like an image and YouTube video and then put the form, then you drop that down here into the disclaimer and it should work. Otherwise, put it up in your sub headline. All right, so then obviously you want to change like the colors and so forth. But anyways, drop this code into your sub headline, and you're going to be editing this. You're not going to have it edited the way they have it in here, simply because it wasn't working for me when I would simply copy this and then drop it into the sub headline. For whatever reason, like these tabs wasn't allowing the form to populate when I was trying to do it earlier today, but it works now. So I just got rid of all the tabs, the extra tabs here, and then I got rid of this href tag, and then let's fill out my WuFoo form. I don't need that garbage. And then I got rid of everything down here. So I kept it really simple. All I have up here is I kept the iframe height 1948. Allow transparency equals true. Frame border equals 0. Style width 100%. Border none. Source. And then this is the URL that goes back to the actual form. It'll be unique for your form. And then you want to have this closing iframe tag. And that's it. There's nothing else after that. And so then we'll take a look and see how that looks here in a second. Now, if I go back here really quickly, this 1948, that's what WuFoo had defined for the template size for the iframe. And you'll want to play around with this. Whenever you create your form, it's probably going to have some other height value here. But once you drop this into PhoneSites, you want to play around with this both in your laptop and then also on your phone, and just make sure that it shows up properly. It's a little funky. I think there's probably a better way to have this edited, but that would be using something called CSS, and we don't have access to that. And anyways, CSS just refers to cascading style sheets. It's tech stuff. You don't need to worry about that. But anyways, simply, I think if you can just play around with the height. I'll keep it at 1948 for a second. I'll show you how it looks. But to play it safe, I think you should bump it up. I ended up bumping it up to like 2,000, and then I even had it up to 2,200, which is more than enough. That should cover just about any device that's going to be accessing this, I would imagine. But with 2,200, that just means it's going to bump that privacy policy. Can't speak. The privacy policy disclaimer. It's going to bump it down further. There's going to be a bunch of white space, so you can figure that out in terms of like what you think works the best. Maybe you won't even have anything in that disclaimer field. Anyways, let's go ahead and save this and check it out. I want to show you at the very bottom. It's going to cut off a little bit where it is at that 1948. So you can see here, the bottom of the iframe, it's cutting that off a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and add some in here, but I just want you to notice too the white space that's in between privacy policy and submit. So we'll go back in my browser. Actually, before I change this, I want to show you. I have my phone connected here. So just, I have it connected to the laptop. I just want to show you how it looks in mobile as well. Just want to refresh this. Okay, so it looks okay here in mobile. All right, but I'm still going to change this. Come on. Okay, so 2,000. That looks much better. It doesn't cut it off at the bottom, but then you can see there's more white space. And then go back here to the phone, refresh this. And then it just bumps the privacy policy down a little bit better, but it still looks fine to me. And then you could set this to landscape view. I'll go ahead and refresh this. So now in landscape view, you can see it actually cuts it off here. So now I'm going to bump this up to 2,200. Not that very many people will actually be looking at this in landscape mode on their phone. Probably not, but you never know. So just to show you how this looks now on laptop, you can see that there's even more white space, but go back over to my phone really quickly and refresh. A lot of white space. Then in landscape mode, okay, so now it doesn't cut off the submit. So it's just something to play around and figure out with whatever you think works best for your template. Anyways, so let me show you how this looks if I kept the submit button in here that is native to the PhoneSites page. And then you'll see why I suggest taking that out. All right, so you don't want to confuse the person that's landing on this page. You don't want them to fill this out and then accidentally submit here. If they do that, then the data is not going to be submitted to WuFoo. You want them to submit it through here because then it will submit the data through WuFoo. So you want to keep this submit button off and probably keep those other fields off, like the name and so forth. If you want to collect that information, you should embed that in the form, or you should include that in the form, or put it on a subsequent page. But the goal is you want them to collect the information to the form, hit submit here, and then through WuFoo have it set up so that it will redirect. So again, over here on form settings, under confirmation options, you'll change this to redirect to website, drop in the URL for the thank you page. I don't have one created, but let's go ahead and do that one anyways. And so then you would just copy that URL and you would drop that into this field after you select it to redirect. Okay. Now, once someone submits, then once the data is then submitted to WuFoo, then they should be redirected to your thank you page on PhoneSites. I think that should answer your question for submitting or adding a WuFoo form.